Fan voting, popularity contests, deserving players getting snubbed, players not taking the game seriously. That is the MLB All-Star system in a nutshell, and it's a complete mess. This is what MLB should actually do about it. Let me give you some background. In recent years, criticism of the MLB All-Star system has exploded. Analysts, reporters, and even players have questioned the selections, arguing that too many deserving players are left off the roster while bigger names get in because of popularity, mandatory team representation, or outdated voting rules. The All-Star game is supposed to showcase the very best players from the first half of the season. Instead, it often feels like a popularity contest mixed with a marketing event. Every July, the biggest story isn't who made the team, it's who got snubbed. Add in injury replacements, players opting out, and a game that many participants don't treat competitively, and it's clear the current system isn't living up to what it really should be. Now, if you don't believe me, here's a perfect example. Cubs center fielder Pete Crow Armstrong has the third highest WAR in all of Major League Baseball this year, and the highest WAR among all outfielders this year so far. Now, despite putting up those numbers, he finished just 14th among all National League outfielders in Phase 1 of All-Star voting, failing to receive enough votes to advance to Phase 2. If a player performing at that level can't even crack the top 10 in voting, it's hard to argue that the system consistently recognizes players who have actually been the best on the field. And trust me, there are many more snubs that I could bring up. That's why I think it's time for more than just another small adjustment. I believe a handful of key changes could turn the MLB All-Star game into a true reflection of the league's best players, create a fairer selection process, and make the event more meaningful for both players and fans. Here's my proposal. Number 1. The winning league gets home field advantage in the World Series. Now, to clarify, home field advantage would mean hosting 4 of the 7 games, not all 7. Now, right now in Major League Baseball, the team with the better regular season record earns home field advantage in the World Series, which means they host games 1, 2, and if necessary, 6 and 7. Under this idea, that structure would stay the same. Games 1, 2, 6, and 7 would still be hosted by the team with home field advantage, but the determining factor would no longer be the team's regular season record. Instead, home field advantage would be awarded to the winning team, a system MLB has used in the past. Bringing back this rule would restore a competitive incentive to the MLB All-Star game structure, making it matter in a meaningful way again. The goal is that by increasing what's at stake, players would be less likely to opt out, leading to stronger participation, better on-field talent, and ultimately a more exciting experience for fans. Number 2, more performance incentives. Now, I'm not going to read all the ones I thought up, but I will put them on screen so you can read them for yourself. The idea behind this is to give players more reason to stay engaged in the game itself and give players a reason to opt into playing rather than opting out. Right now, the bulk of the financial reward for the All-Star game comes from simply being chosen or participating, which, when you think about it, does not necessarily change how hard someone competes once the game starts. By having smaller bonuses directly tied into in-game actions, you create real-time chances for players to earn a little extra cash, while bigger rewards encourage players' best performance and effort. Again, this specific proposal of increasing incentives is about creating a more exciting environment for all fans. Number 3. Shrink the MLB All-Star Game rosters from 32 to 28. This is to keep the All-Star Game feeling like an exclusive honor rather than a participation award. Over time, roster sizes have increased to make sure every team has representation and to account for injuries and player replacements. However, these goals have weakened what it means to be selected as an All-Star. By cutting each league's roster from 32 to 28 players, the selection process becomes more competitive and more prestigious. Fewer roster spots mean that only the very best players earn the recognition, bringing back some of the exclusivity that has been lost along the way. A smaller roster would also improve the game itself. With fewer players available, managers would lean on their top stars for more innings and plate appearances, giving fans more chances to watch the biggest names compete instead of just seeing a player only get one short appearance. Number 4. The players and coaches vote for the starters, the media picks who the fans get to vote on for reserves, and the fans vote for the reserves. Now, the fans have completely ruined All-Star voting for years, and MLB has done very little to fix it at all. Players from big market teams or those with larger fan bases regularly get more votes than players who actually deserve the honor through their performance. Every year there are deserving All-Stars who are left off the roster because they simply don't have the same level of national popularity. MLB will never fully remove fan voting. However, the league should lessen the influence fans have over deciding the roster. Under this proposal, the players and coaches would vote for the starting lineup. No one understands who the best players are better than the people who compete against them every day. Their votes would be based on skill and performance rather than popularity or market size. For the reserve spots, the media would first build a ballot consisting of only players who have legitimate All-Star cases. Fans would then vote on them to decide the final reserves. This still gives fans a voice in the process, but it prevents them from turning the ballot into a popularity contest or loading it with players who simply have no right to be there. This proposal keeps fans involved while making sure performance, not popularity, is the main factor in deciding who earns one of baseball's highest individual honors. Number 5. Smaller rule changes. Now again, I'm not going to read all the ones I proposed, but I will put them up on screen. Now, number 1 is the swing off, which was introduced in recent years, and while it is fun to watch, it doesn't really reflect how baseball is actually played. Going back to traditional extra innings would be the right choice to make it feel more like a real game. And come on, who doesn't like extra baseball? Number 2. The All-Star game should feature the best players in baseball, not automatically guarantee every franchise a representative. Getting rid of that requirement would make the roster spots more competitive and ensure every selection is based purely on performance. Number 3. Every All-Star deserves recognition, but not every player needs to get into the game. Giving managers more flexibility would allow the biggest stars and the hottest players to get more time, creating a more competitive and entertaining matchup. Number 4. Players expected to miss the All-Star game because of long-term injuries should not take up spots on the ballot. This would open things wide open for healthy players who can actually take part to receive the recognition and opportunity they have earned. Number 5. Fans should have more information available when they cast their votes. Adding additional stats to the ballot such as WAR, slug, on-base percentage, or other advanced metrics alongside traditional numbers would help voters make more informed decisions instead of relying mostly on name recognition. Now, while it's hard to envision all of these changes actually coming to MLB, I believe this should be a topic of discussion in Major League Baseball's next collective bargaining agreement negotiations. The Players' Union should push for meaningful changes to the All-Star game because the current system simply is not good enough. The MLB All-Star game has lost much of what made it special. It's becoming a popularity contest instead of a true showcase of the best players in baseball. That needs to change because baseball's biggest stars deserve better, and so do the millions of fans who tune in every summer to celebrate the game. If you enjoyed this content, please consider subscribing, turning on notifications for this channel so you don't miss when I upload, and hitting the like button underneath this video. For more content just like this, click the video on screen. I'm Joshua Crum of YoungInsider.com. That's your breakdown, and thanks for watching.